action.
Hi, this is James Cooley with Tahoe RV Rentals, and we're just giving you a little walkthrough of our 23-foot unit. A lot of the other trailers will be very similar in use, and most of the questions will be answered here. First, when you show up, the trailer is probably going to look a lot like this. You can go ahead and open up the front storage compartment. There's often a broom up in here if you want to give it a sweep or anything throughout your stay. Also, there may be some storage up there if you guys need any extra storage. You can come on over here to the front door. You'll find a little lockbox by the front door. Combinations 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go ahead and set that. Sometimes you got to lift up a little bit on this faceplate. Give them a little pull. It should pop open for you. They are a little bit quirky, as you can see. But you should find some keys in there. There's going to be a purple key to each door. The little small silver key is going to be to your storage compartments. And you find the proper purple key and go ahead and use it on the deadbolt, the bottom of the two locks. I recommend you only use the deadbolt because if you use this top lock, you can lock yourself out pretty easily. Once you find the right key, you can go ahead and let yourself in. I'm going to throw the keys back in the lockbox. When you guys check out, you can toss the keys back in the lockbox. We do not need to be here for you to take off. Our checkout time is 10 a.m. Let's go ahead and hop in. So when you first come in, you'll notice on the side of these cabinets there's typically a handful of light switches. One of these switches is going to run most of these main cabin lights. So just be aware there's more than one light switch to a lot of these lights. There's also a switch on every light itself. So if you're having issues, just come over here and look for another light switch. There's also often some blue switches here, one of which is outside underneath the awning. It's a little bit hard to see in the daytime, but it does become pretty useful at night. If you flip these switches, you'll find it. Also, if you roll the awning out just by hitting awning extend, even 3-4 inches, it really shadows that light outside. You'll notice what I'm talking about at nighttime. Also, when it comes to the awning, just go ahead and hit the button, hold awning extend down. A couple things to point out here is that the awnings are your responsibility. If there's any wind, heavy rain, weather, or anything that can bend or break these things, they are your responsibility, so make sure they're rolled in. Also, I hold it down until I see the tube turn white. There's a little flap that hangs down a couple inches, and that's when you know it's time to stop. Any further out, it's just more prone to bending and breaking. Feel free to use these. Just know that you are responsible for them, and they should be rolled in if there's any reason they can bend or break, heavy weather, or if you're not around. So let's come over here to the, there's going to be a little control panel that has 2 red switches on it and a number of buttons. This is going to be an important one for you guys. This is our biggest issue with the units. There's waste tank storage in these. This particular unit has about 35 gallons of waste storage in both black and the gray. Black tank is going to be your toilet waste. Gray is going to be your sink and shower. Some of our units have a third tank. Sometimes they're labeled a few different things, galley or gray 1 and gray 2. But you got to pace your usage throughout your stay. You only have about 35 gallons in each of these tanks. Some of them can be smaller in our smaller units. Our larger units may be slightly larger, but often it goes faster than people expect, especially if you're taking showers and doing dishes. We always recommend that you make use of the parked facilities when you can, and then use this middle of the night, no problem. And it is okay if it's full when we picked it up, but make sure you're pacing that 35 gallons or so throughout your stay in each of the tanks, because like I said, that does go very quickly and it can go faster than people expect. So really keep an eye on that, and then you do that by coming over here. And if you hold down each button, in particular the gray, which is empty, and then the black, which is empty. And these LEDs will start to light up as your tanks fill up. So keep a close eye on these. This is going to be your biggest issue with partial grid hookups here, partial hookups. With the way you're hooked up here, you shouldn't need either the pump or the water heater switches. So ignore these. The only ones you're going to be paying attention to are gray, black, and if there's a second gray or a galley tank is essentially a second gray tank. So yeah, just make sure you pay attention to these tanks, black and gray in particular. Those do fill up quickly. We can come on over here to the stereo. We got inside and outside speakers. If you hit zone 1 or zone 2, you can turn them on and off individually. And also, if you want to Bluetooth your phone, teenagers are really good at figuring this out. But the combination it asks for on your phone will be all zeros. TV, you're going to kind of be on your own. There's not often very good reception in these, but you're welcome to try or hook up a DVD player directly to the TV. And if you notice down here, underneath the TV, there's a small light switch. You do have to pick between your microwave and your fireplace. It's like an amperage issue, but know that that switch exists down there. If you want to use your fireplace, just flip the switch down and just hit the power button. If you want to use a microwave, flip the switch up, and then you can use your microwave. Let's go to the dinette, I guess. The dinette here, they do fold into beds if you guys need. Go ahead and just lift this tabletop completely off. These poles under here will remove, and then there's a little lip right here this table lands on, and then you can fold all the cushions flat into a nice comfortable bed. Come over here to the stove. When you're cooking on the stove, make sure to flip the glass back out of the way like so. It's very expensive when you try and cook on top of it because they do shatter. If you want to light up the stove, just click the burner to the flame sensor here and then come to the left and click the sparker a couple times. It should light up for you. You guys need to use the oven. It's going to be a one step further here. We're going to go to the pilot position here, and I'm going to hold this in with my right hand. And then I'm going to look underneath this shelf here. There's a pilot light in the very back. I'm going to continue to hold it down with my right hand and click the sparker a handful of times until I see that pilot light light. It does take a few seconds here. So now you can maybe see it's lit. And I'm going to continue holding this for 5 or 10 seconds until that thermocoupler warms up. And once you think it's ready, you should be able to let go, pick your temperature, and the oven should light up for you. Just pick your temperature on the control knob there. I'm going to go ahead and turn that back off. Come over here to the refrigerators. You shouldn't need to bother with any of these buttons on the top. We typically try to set them in the proper positions for how you're hooked up. You can come here, the top's the freezer, bottom is the fridge. If they're not totally cold when you guys show up, it's because we just turned them on. Give them a couple hours to really start cooling down for you if they're not cold already, especially if you load a bunch of warm groceries in it. Wait till the following morning before you call us and let us know that it's not working, because they typically still are. The thermostat here, very similar to your house. You got fan mode, cool mode, and heat mode. The only little trick to these is keep the fan mode on auto. If you go to high or low, there's some annoying fans that kick on for no reason. But if you leave the fan mode on auto, that's going to solve most of your problems. Other than that, just go to cool or heat and pick the temperature that makes you comfortable. Let's go to the bathroom. There's a toilet back here. There's a little foot pedal. If you crack that foot pedal down, it fills the bowl up. You can push it all the way down and test it. I do have RV specific toilet paper in the units for you guys. If you need to get more toilet paper, make sure that you get RV specific. They typically have them at the RV campground stores or even in town. Make sure you run a decent amount of water through this toilet if you're using toilet paper, because things need to go all the way beneath the valve you see beneath your feet into a tank below. And having the RV specific toilet paper will help eliminate any issues, as well as use a fair amount of water to make sure everything's going all the way down. And I think that's it. If you guys got any further questions, just feel free to give us a ring. We're happy to help. Thank you.